My darling child, this is not a coincidence. This is not a dream. This is something I have been trying to reach you about, but you were too busy, too distracted, or too heartbroken to notice the signs. Now, Archangel Michael has been waiting for 2 hours straight to speak to you directly, pacing and watching, because what he is about to tell you cannot wait any longer. Listen carefully, this is not a joke. A private investigator was caught, and what they were caught doing involves you. Yes, someone paid money. The reason I want you to pause for a moment and feel this message enter your heart. Someone provided thorough directions. Someone has been quietly observing you from the shadows. And no, this has nothing to do with crime. Rather, it's about secrets and curiosity. You've been living your life without realizing that you're being watched by eyes that don't blink. This person wanted to know things about you but was unable to get the answers from your smile. So they sent someone to follow your silence. The truth was never meant to be revealed. But I, the Lord, your God, reveal the things that are hidden. The man who was caught was not new to the spiritual world. He had previously rejected me and used his talents to unearth pain in people's lives. However, when he looked into your life, something changed in him. He saw prayers, he saw old wounds that you never showed anyone, and instead of reporting what he found, he repented and quit his job. When the time comes, you will feel as though you are in a movie, but trust me, this is real. And this is your life unfolding like a mystery that even heaven gasped at, my child. After he reached heaven, Michael became involved. For the past 2 hours, Michael has been trying to warn you by whispering into your spirit that there is a wall around your heart that was created by betrayal in the past. But if you open this message completely, child, the wall will come down. Not because someone is tearing it, but because truth has arrived. Take a moment to let your soul breathe before continuing. And if you're watching the video, use the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss the next urgent word from Archangel Michael or myself. These are not stories. The person who hired the investigator didn't do it to hurt you. Rather, it began with curiosity and love. They didn't know how to ask why you suddenly disappeared, why your energy changed, and why you stopped responding. They acted in a way that felt safe for them, not for you. But now they're afraid. They know they crossed a spiritual line and heaven has eyes on them. You may feel betrayed when you hear this, but I want you to know something you've forgotten. These are instructions for your next breakthrough, your peace, and your destiny. Turn on the bell too. You are protected not only physically but also spiritually, emotionally, and energetically, which is why the investigator came forward, which is why Michael stepped in, and that is why you are hearing this now. You are covered in light, and no weapon used against you will succeed. You have not been walking blindly. You have been walking under my protection even when you didn't feel me, even when you believed I was silent, and even during the tearful, unanswered prayers that filled your nights. I was preparing the truth to emerge, just like this child. You have a heart that I have been molding for something greater, and now you are being called to listen with your spirit rather than your emotions. This is the beginning of something that will shake you but not break you, and I will not allow it. They are not coming with anger. Rather, they are coming with shame. They believed they had lost you forever, and in their desperation, they made a decision that still haunts them. You were never intended to be someone's probe. Rather, you were supposed to be someone's disclosure, and yes, I did say what I said. You are selected for something much bigger than surveillance or suspicion. The private investigator who was caught saw something that stopped him, a single photograph of you, and that person is going to confess, but not because they were caught, because they were broken by your light and saw the truth of who you are, even when they sent someone else to search it. Now, breathe again. I'm still speaking, and let's continue, my child. What I'm telling you is not fiction. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual reality. You don't have to understand every detail just yet. Just open your heart and feel what I'm saying to your spirit. Standing by himself, oblivious to anyone else's presence. He felt as though a prayer was staring back at him. He claimed that the image followed him home and disrupted his sleep. He believed he had control over his emotions, but he was unaware that your energy carried my presence, which is why you confuse people, why they can't forget you, and why even those who attempt to leave you are drawn back to you because you are marked by my voice, my mercy, and my love. That man was hired for money, but he came across something priceless in you. Since this isn't just about what someone did behind your back, but also about why heaven is intervening, you are entering a time when truth will no longer conceal anything, secrets will lose their power, and every secret conversation, whispered plan, spiritual trap, and hidden conversation is being exposed, dismantled, and reversed because you're rising. You've sensed for days that something is changing in the world. Haven't you? Archangel Michael is standing close to you right now, and as you hear this, he is enveloping your space with light, not just to protect but also to reveal you're having weird nightmares in which people approach you differently, either with desire or resistance, and you're wondering why you're feeling this pressure. The seriousness of divine timing is what's happening in the unseen world now flooding into your chronology. It's not pressure, kid. A storm is moving by, but beyond it lies a door, and the person who previously shut it on you is going to try to knock again. This time with shaking hands, but you won't open it out of fear. Instead, you'll open it carefully and allow me to lead you. Recall the times when people mistook your quiet and called your composure cold when they left you because they couldn't handle your depth. For this reason, you were never ordinary, and the investigator who sent you couldn't handle how strong you became after they left. They assumed you were fragile, but you became fire. You see, when they left, they expected you to collapse, but you did the exact opposite, rebuilding in secret with me while crying and whispering in the dark. These kinds of messages are not because you are weak, but rather because your soul knows that I am speaking to you directly. Now is your time to get up, but pay close attention because what comes next is important. The man who came to look into you also left a small piece of paper with the anonymous message. The one you're searching for is not hiding anything on it. He didn't deliver it to his client. Instead, he left it at a spiritual center. But before heaven intervenes, I advise you to halt. I dispatched my angels to bring you this message, and I whispered to Michael, "Go wait until the infant opens its spirit, as well as when they do communicate." And now that you're here and Michael is writing a love letter, I want to remind you once more not to end this message. This isn't just about videos. It's about heavenly updates for your life. If you were moved by this, click the button to subscribe or follow. You've missed signs before. Don't miss the next one. Turn on all notifications. Allow your spirit to be reminded that God is watching over you and that heaven is writing you a love letter. Now, hear me say this with love. Forgive everyone, even those who violated your privacy and those who watched from a distance, because I am working on your story that requires courage and I am writing a comeback that will I'm cleaning your path, eliminating fake energy, exposing motives, and yes, I'm closing the eyes of those who try to see your future without permission. Your destiny is not their business, your journey is not theirs to study, and you belong to me for the next few days. This isn't just about one person, though. Others are watching too. Not everyone who smiles is your supporter, and not everyone who asks how you're doing or cares about your healing are crucial. You might receive an embarrassing, "Hey, can we talk?" SMS with an apology. Perhaps it will appear in person or through a number you don't recognize. But when it does, stop talking from pain and instead speak from power. You have nothing to hide or fear because the truth is finally working in your favor. And child, this is only the beginning. Stay with me, child, because what I'm going to say next will change something deep inside of you at this precise moment. This message is reaching you now because the investigator was caught, because I allowed it, and the truth came out because I made sure it would, because I love you too much to let people disturb your peace without repercussions. Time is not random. It's perfectly aligned with something you've prayed for. Even if you can't remember the prayer, or if it was just a whisper you said to yourself on a cold night while staring at the ceiling, hoping I was listening. You stop ignoring the whispers in your soul that something feels wrong. And you were right, you've always been right, but you kept questioning yourself and pushing your emotions away, believing you were being overly dramatic or sensitive. Instead, you were receiving a divine warning, and now you're receiving divine information because what happens next depends on your decision. If you decide to remain motionless and small, you will postpone the healing I've already released for you. But if you choose to move forward in faith, Archangel Michael is currently monitoring your energy and how your spirit is reacting to this reality. He is standing by your side, waiting for the moment when your heart says, "Yes, I'm ready." If you decide to forgive what you now know and protect what is still developing, you will experience a change that even you cannot explain. Since your inner self will be completely exposed after that, things that you thought would take months or even years would start to happen in a matter of days. Doors will swing open, discussions will occur, and people will suddenly begin to treat you, experiencing your shift in a different way without even knowing why. And the one who I told you before that this would feel like a movie. But here's the twist. If someone tries to study you through someone else, they will either leave in quiet or return in surrender, because when God defends you, nobody leaves unharmed. Even the person who believed they could follow you covertly is now realizing that you are someone to be honored, not someone to be watched. You may feel shaken or confused, but don't let that define this moment. Let my words be louder than your fear. You are not just the main character. You are the revelation. You are the moment that changes the story for others. The person who started all of this, who believed they needed to hire someone to understand you, never realized that what they were searching for wasn't facts but rather peace. And they thought you had it, and you do, but peace isn't something you find by spying. Rather, it's something you receive when you stop running from the truth. Into a time when the lights will come on and everything that has been hiding in the dark will scatter. Not just in your relationships, but in your finances, your calling, and your dreams. You will no longer be confused because clarity is being gifted to you right now. Now pay close attention, because what follows is sacred. Tonight, when you are by yourself, light a candle, turn off all electronics, sit quietly, and let the only sounds be that of heaven and yourself. Then, slowly, recite these words out, letting the truth flow. After you say that, something will change, and before the week is over, you will see it. A name, a message, a situation, a strange coincidence that feels too specific to ignore. So I am ready for clarity. I forgive those who have trespassed. I welcome protection from God and His angels. I release fear. I trust divine timing. I am safe. I am ready. I am seen. And when it occurs, declare that it's God instead of that it's unusual. And now, another love letter. The following message will explain what this person wants to say to you right now and what God is going to do with your name in rooms you have never entered. Hit the bell, be ready. Heaven is not done speaking love letters. If this message is opening your eyes and waking your spirit, don't forget to subscribe, not only to support the channel, but also because you deserve to hear every divine update meant for you. You are not alone, Archangel, my child. Michael is staying by your side. He has already cleared the paths you haven't yet traversed, traps that were being placed in the background, but you shouldn't be afraid of what lies ahead, since it will be divine justice. Do you sense that your spirit is recalling what it always knew? You were protected. Not loud, not spiteful, but clear, crisp, and full of peace? If so, pay close attention, kid, for this last section contains the pivotal moment. Your eyes that formerly watched from the shadows have now been greeted with light. The man was apprehended. The secrets are no longer concealed, and your heart has been silently waiting for the truth to be disclosed. However, what happens next depends on how you now that awareness is returning and clarity is flowing into your spirit. Things are going to accelerate. People who once ignored you will start remembering your name. People who once doubted you will suddenly speak highly of you behind your back. And even the person who paid to hear your story will no longer be able to deny the power of your presence. But I want you to respond calmly and not with fear or anger, knowing that I, your God, have orchestrated this entire moment. You're not powerless. You never were. You were just unaware of how protected you truly are. No one can undo what I'm about to do in your life. No voice can cancel your calling. No watcher can erase what I wrote in the books of heaven about you. And now, let me tell you the most beautiful part. The private investigator is changing because of you. He saw something in you that made him question the life, and you will be noticed by more people not just because you're gifted but also because your energy carries evidence of my glory. There will be curiosity, questions, and even gossip, but none of it will affect you because I've placed a seal over your life and a divine firewall around your name. He wasn't merely the object of an assignment. You were the mirror that revealed his emptiness. He is no longer employed by anyone, and now he is searching for me, reading scripture and finding peace. The angels are celebrating his conviction rather than his capture. You child, you have no idea how powerful your presence is. That's what it means to be chosen. You cure people without touching them. You communicate with spirits without using words. And even those who enter your life with ulterior motives depart with revelation. So what comes next? Get yourself emotionally and spiritually ready. Physically, something important is about to happen in the next 10 days. You may be tempted to dismiss it, believing it to be another coincidence, but it will actually be a divine setup. A moment that shifts your timeline forward, a dialogue, an invitation, a spiritual encounter. So keep an eye out for it and, when it does, respond from your spirit rather than your scars. Your vitality and my favor will speak for itself, so you don't need to prove anything or explain who you are. But there's still one more thing. The Archangel Michael wants you to know that he has heard your prayers and seen the nights you have sobbed by yourself. The ones you didn't even realize I was listening to were whispered into your pillow. He's seen you love people who didn't always love you back. And now he's seeing me give you a reward because what you lost wasn't truly taken from you. Rather, it was given back to me so I could multiply it. This time I'm giving it back, but bigger, stronger, safer, and more protected. You're breaking generational cycles without even realizing it because the moment you decided to forgive, heal, and hear this message without letting pride get in the way, the message that was sent to expose you is now becoming the message that will exalt you. Yes, your name is being whispered in rooms of opportunity. Doors are opening in places where your feet haven't touched yet, and hearts are getting ready to receive you because I, the Lord, your God, am making room for you in this world. Not the version of you that hid, not the one who shrank down to be more acceptable, but the real you, the one I created, the one who listens when heaven speaks, the one who doesn't just receive miracles but becomes one. And now is your turn. If this message reached your soul, don't leave without subscribing or following. These aren't just messages. They are confirmations of divine alignments, and the next one might hold the key to your next breakthrough. Click the bell so you don't miss what heaven says next. Love. The person who watched you in private will now watch you publicly as you rise, and the person who doubted you will now witness your divine promotion. You will walk forward with peace because you will finally know you are never unprotected. You are always under my wing. Letter, this message is sealed, finished, and Michael is watching. I'm with you now, and I'll see you at your new beginning. Now, child, with your heart softened by truth and your spirit open, let me gently walk with you into the last part of this message because, yes, there is still more heaven. This message wasn't just meant to warn you. It wasn't just about the private investigator or the person who sent it. It was a wake-up call, not just to expose others, but to make you realize who you truly are because you've underestimated your power for far too long and have shrunk your light to fit into spaces that were never made for you. You've lowered your voice to maintain harmony. You've put up with abuse because you thought it was love. You've been silent to keep people from judging you, but child, in that silence you began losing yourself. And now I'm drawing you back into alignment with your divine identity. You weren't born to be small. Rather, You were born to dispel darkness with your very existence. Your smile is not ordinary. It heals. Your presence is not soft. It's sacred. Even the person who thought they could observe you from a distance felt that thing they couldn't explain. They couldn't shake it, and your energy prevented them from leaving. Whispered something ancient to their souls. So yes, they became curious and crossed boundaries. But what they discovered wasn't dirt or secrets, but divinity wrapped in vulnerability. It was the way you continued to love people even after they broke you, the way you continued to help others while you were bleeding silently, and the way you continued to believe that something better was coming even when you had every reason to give up. That's what shook them, and it's what's separating you now. Let's talk about tomorrow, because I know you've been wondering, what do I do now? Lord, where do I go from here? I'll tell you to move forward. Courageous tranquility, not conceit or resentment, but the kind of serenity that comes from understanding that you are being watched, guided, and selected by God. You don't need retribution. You don't need to prove anything. Your success, your healing, your happiness, your quiet ascent will speak louder than anything they attempted to reveal. But I do ask that you do not close your heart. I know that it is tempting and that it feels safer, but don't put up new barriers just because someone tried to get past the old ones. Let me be your protector. Let Michael be your sword. Let truth be your defense. And pay close attention, child. The person who initiated all of this is now undergoing a metamorphosis. They believed they were simply checking in on you, but they were actually entering a divine trap, a setup not for their destruction but for their redirection, because I am not only using this to bless you, but also to convince them that your life has become a message, a lesson, a mirror, a moment of spiritual awakening for someone who didn't even believe in this kind of love until they saw it in you. That's how powerful your existence is, which is why the enemy wanted to divert your attention in order to make you feel insecure, exhausted, and afraid, making you question your intuition to put off reaching your next level, but it's too late. You've seen and heard too much and you've woken up. However, once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep, not spiritually, emotionally, or prophetically, because you now realize that you are in alignment with divine movement. Every delay was divine. Every silence you detested was preparation, and this strange, enigmatic, and emotional message is confirmation that I want you to look at yourself right now, wherever you are, in a mirror, a window, or a phone screen, and I want you to say, I am not what they said. I am not what they searched for. I am who God says I am. I am chosen. I am protected. I am free, and I will rise without fear. As you say that, feel heaven standing still. Feel the energy shift around you. Feel Archangel Michael placing his hand over your shoulder, because the message has been delivered, the truth has been released, and the protection has been activated. And your love letter's next chapter has already started. If this message resonates with you, don't just feel it. Take action by clicking the subscribe button. This is not the end. Rather, it is the beginning of something great, and a message is already on its way. Don't miss another word that heaven wants to send your way. Stay attentive, stay close, and be prepared. Love letter. You are going to enter the season when everything finally begins to make sense. So you are not forgotten, alone, or being ignored. Felt that this was your time, and I, your God, am proud of you for listening. Now go. Michael and I will be at your side the entire time. I know how lonely it has been to carry the weight of so many unanswered questions, wondering why certain people treated you the way they did, wondering why they couldn't just be honest, wondering why they had to send someone to find what you would have given freely if only they had the courage to ask. Yes, child. Let me continue, because even though the message has been spoken, your soul still needs one last gentle embrace from heaven, and I am not done holding you in this moment. I purposely made you this way because your sensitivity is your gift that you know you carry. It's not paranoia, it's prophecy. You've always been tuned into the invisible even before you had words to explain it, which is why I chose you to receive this kind of message, because not everyone would. It feels like you're the one who sees through everything to sense things before they happen, to know when you're being watched, studied, judged, even loved. But in reality, you're not imagining it or overreacting. Comprehend it, but you would, because you've always known deep down that you were unique. And yes, the person who watched you noticed that too. They feared what they feared, they tried to control, and they tried to observe from a distance in the hopes of learning something without becoming vulnerable. But that's not how connection works. You can't watch someone else's soul and expect to stay unchanged. The moment they opened a spiritual portal, and instead of finding what they expected, they found truth, they found me. It rocked them when they discovered purity and love. That's the kind of power you carry without even trying. And now you're being rewarded, not with public celebration or thunderous applause, but with something even better, divine acceleration, because the investigator never anticipated becoming spiritually awakened, but he was thanks to you. Because your actions will now draw miracles at a different level. You must approach the days ahead as sacred appointments and wake up with intention, speak clearly, and walk with grace. You are in your divine flow, and yes, the person who initiated this spiritual chain reaction is still watching, but their attention is different now. It's not about control, curiosity, or awe. They don't know how to put it, but they sense that you are someone they can only admire from a place of humility. They're going through something too. You know, this message isn't just about you. It's about what you cause in others, because your light forces people to face their own darkness. Your purity calls their hidden pain to it's not your fault that they couldn't handle you. It's not your burden to carry their shame. It's not your responsibility to heal what they're not ready to face. It's your calling to keep shining anyway, to keep rising, to keep loving even when it's not returned the way you hoped, because everything you've been through has been preparing you for this very moment. The moment when the truth comes to light, the moment when the people watching become the ones who learn, and the moment when your silence turns into a sermon, and your serenity turns into your strength. You don't have to face them, send a message, or explain that you're going to do something so unquestionable in your story that even your adversaries will say, surely the hand of God is on them. Instead, you just need to live, breathe, and keep walking with me. You will no longer need to defend your value, plead for attention, or demonstrate your innocence, beauty, or destiny. I'll take care of it for you, beginning now. Now a child and a love letter. If this message helped you feel noticed even in the quietest pain, or if it kept your spirit together when it felt like it was about to crumble, then click subscribe. This is my final whisper for tonight. Don't go through this season alone. You are too valuable, too essential, and too needed. Turn on the bell, because there is more to come, and you deserve to hear everything that heaven has to say next. Love letter and more. Michael is still standing behind you and will be with you tonight in your dreams. He will watch over your house, your heart, and your sleep, and you could sense a nice feeling. Pressure. You may have a sense of peace that you haven't had in weeks. That's him protecting you. That's paradise remaining with you. And this is only the beginning. The following chapter is called Unstoppable. Rest now, my child, and wake up knowing that you are no longer being watched. You are being witnessed. Amen. Yes, my dear child, we are almost there. But I still want to pour one more wave of truth into your soul, because what I am doing in you is a rebirth, not just a blessing. I am giving you a new perspective. There is a reason why the enemy fought you so fiercely this year, and there is a reason why things felt heavier, more painful, and more confused than usual. It's because something inside of you was shifting, something holy that can no longer be hidden. You were stepping into the truest version of yourself. You have made it to this point for a reason, and now I want you to breathe in the last part of this message, the part that seals everything heaven has spoken over your life. A better version of oneself, the one I created before the world tried to mold you, and the enemy saw it. He saw your prayers becoming bolder, your eyes starting to look up again, and the glow starting to rise in your soul. He panicked, but it's too late, child. You've already crossed the threshold. Now your spirit has entered the place where faith triumphs over fear, where peace becomes louder than panic, and where miracles no longer feel like something you wait for but something you walk with me. And let me tell you what's coming up next. There will be a moment in the coming days that will feel like time has stopped for you. It will be a message, a visit, a voice, a sentence, and you won't expect to hear something small in the natural but loud in the spirit. When it does, you'll feel it in your chest and in your bones, and you'll know that God truly is with me. He truly meant every word because the miracle has already been approved. It just needed your heart to be in the right place. And now you're not who you've healed in parts and grown in silence even only a week ago. And now you're ready to be whole and ready for love that feels secure. I want you to know deep down that you didn't miss it, didn't ruin it, didn't take too long, you're right on time. I make everything beautiful in its season, and this child is your season. In addition, I've put someone in your life or am about to put someone in whose heart has been prepared just for you. You're ready for opportunities that don't drain you. You're ready for friendships that see your light and protect it. And you're ready for divine favor that doesn't come and go but stays. I want you to remain open to that love. Don't reject it because of the pain of the past. Let it in because I sent it. When I send someone, they don't leave you the same way, so tonight I need you to look in the mirror and say something aloud. You may feel silly, but do it anyway. They will see you, they won't confuse you. They won't make you doubt yourself. And they will love you not just for your light but also for your journey. And say, I am chosen, I am worthy, I am ready, my miracle is here. I have always believed in you. Even when you doubted me. Even when you were running. Even when you were quiet, exhausted, and confused. And I never left your side. Now I'm asking you to take one more step and remain open, not anxious or impatient. Because when your spirit remains open, the blessings flow like rivers and you'll wake up with concepts, you'll experience serenity without understanding why, you'll begin to get without exerting yourself, because that is how my favor operates. It rests on you and requires no effort on your part. All you have to do is say, yes, Lord, I'm here, and I receive it all. Right now, if you're still reading, crying, and believing, leave a comment below saying, this is my confirmation, my name is on this, my miracle is real, I am God's chosen. Glowing star. R was not simply a message. It was a moment of spiritual transformation, a divine alignment, and heaven will never forget that. On May 26th you raised your hands, felt lightheaded, and subscribed, child, since you and I had only just started our adventure, said yes to your next level. Now, instead of waiting around, relax like someone who knows the gift is already on its way. Tomorrow, anticipate to grin without cause and receive something that seems too good to be true. Expect to say, God, you truly did it, because I will be with you forever and always, with more love than your heart could ever contain, until the very end. Yes, kid, please stay with me in this silence for a little while longer. Allow your shoulders to drop and your breathing to relax. The stress you didn't even realize you were carrying dissolves in my presence, because, despite everything I've said, I still love you and love you truly. I want you to feel something profound, something I've been whispering to you in signs and synchronicity, in music, lyrics, and dreams, in moments you thought were pointless. I've been telling you over and over again that you are not behind, and I know you've been thinking and feeling it, wondering why you haven't caught up yet, why others seem farther away. Love never leaves when the message ends. It stays, watches over you, speaks without sound, and wraps itself around your soul even when the world feels too loud. As your God, your Father, and the one who sees beyond time, I want to tell you that you are exactly where you were meant to be. The delays weren't punishment. Rather, they were preparation. The heartbreaks weren't failures. Rather, they were filters that cleansed your spirit of things that weren't meant to remain. The silence wasn't abandonment. Rather, it was me drawing you closer, because there are some lessons I could only teach you in the quiet and that private investigator at that particular moment. The last test was when someone attempted to look into your life without your consent. It wasn't because you had anything to hide, but rather because I needed to let you know that you are safe even when you're not looking, when you're not aware, and even when people are trying to read your life story. I'm holding the pen, and they can't write your ending, define your name, or see the entire picture unless I let them. Now that you know this and that you've seen how protected you truly are, it's time to face the days ahead with holy bravery, not shouty, not combative. I'm not attempting to prove anything. I'm just trying to show that when someone is truly free, they don't have to shout. Their peace becomes their power. You are now free from guilt, fear, and the need to justify yourself to people who don't even understand themselves. You are free because I say you are, and no human betrayal, earthly error, or covert investigation can undo what I've done inside of you. Now listen, because this next part is personal. I've seen what others didn't. You are not only being healed, but you are also being elevated in spirit and strength in favor of visibility. People who used to ignore you will now feel compelled to reach out to you in order to learn from you, not to take advantage of you. I witnessed how you gave when you had nothing left, how you remained kind when you had every reason to harden, and how you continued to believe even when your heart felt broken in 10,000 silent places. Simply feel secure in your presence. That is not a coincidence. It is your anointing. You have been tried and tested, and you are now prepared. However, maintain your humility and remember the slow days and months. The nights filled with tears when the spotlight tries to make you forget who held you when no one else could. Let them be the soil that keeps you grounded. Now, close your eyes, not to run away, but to feel what I'm about to put in your spirit. I'm giving you something tonight that the world cannot take, money cannot buy, and you will wake up tomorrow with a fresh start. Distinct, my child, I bless your going out and coming in. I bless your conversations. I bless your thoughts. May they be in line with heaven. I bless your name. May it be spoken in rooms of favor. I bless your home. May the air around you shift the weight on your chest, lighten the noise in your mind, and soften the path ahead, making it feel clearer. Not because it changed suddenly, but because you changed and are no longer who you were when this message began. Angels are present at every door. I pray that your sleep will be full of holy dreams. I pray that your hands will perform miracles without even realizing it. I pray that your heart will remain soft despite everything. You are entering a chapter that I have named the restoration of the one they underestimated. Let them watch, wonder, and whisper to you. You will worship, rise, shine, and move forward without fear but in glory. Now rest, child. Michael will be on guard tonight, and I will be closer than your next breath. I love you and I will always will. Amen.